The No Fade channel checking in. Today I am going to be going over the 3 biggest lessons that I learned during this dad's 120-day lean bulk. It is day 120 of this dad's push-pull legs lean bulk, and my bulk is finally over. I am going to dive in to all the results of how far I've come since day 0 and go over the 3 main lessons that I learned and things that I would incorporate or at least focus on much more heavily going into another bulk. Before I dive into all that, I have to give a huge thank you to Dave Rollka down at Gravit Fitness in Drake, Massachusetts. He took his time free of charge to not only assist me with taking all my measurements and body weight and fat over the course of this 120 days, but giving me direction and motivation not only on diet but also on my training program. So I have to give him a huge thank you. I know in some of the videos he looks like a homeless kid. That's the look, I guess, for these millennials, is the straggly beard and sweats. Okay, I get it, I guess I get it. That's the look nowadays. Don't let that fool you, okay? He knows what he's doing. Not only is he certified, but he's done bulks before, he's done cuts before, he's done physique competitions before. I am going to post one of his physique competition photos right here just to kind of give you an idea of how in shape he really is without those sweats and the crappy beard. So I need to give Dave a huge, and I do mean huge, thank you for all the time and effort that he's put in to me answering my random messages and dumb questions. But I want to tell you dads and those moms of you that do watch this channel as well that I've said it before, I've said it again. What gets measured gets managed. If you're in the Drake area and you have fitness goals that you want to meet, or you just want to get into better health, it doesn't matter if you are a man, a woman, old, young, you want to bulk, you want to cut up, you want to get ready for a fitness competition, or you just want to look good in a bathing suit, go down to Gravit Fitness, talk to Dave. He is the head trainer there, and he will specifically tailor a plan for your age, your activity level, and most importantly, your goals. There's no cookie cutter stuff there. I've seen the people that he's trained and they get results. Simple as that. So I'm going to put his contact information here, and I am going to drop it in the description of this video. So over the course of 120 days, I gained 15 pounds. I went over my planned weight gain, and the last few weeks, I should have increased my calories because the scale plateaued. The last 2.5 weeks, the scale did not budge. And the reality is I was having so much trouble, and it was taking so much time to eat 4,500 clean calories that I kind of said, screw it, okay? So I didn't necessarily give up on the bulk, but I just kept the calories at 4,500 and maintained that caloric level. And that's why I probably didn't gain, 16 or 17 pounds, because I wasn't really willing to dedicate even more time than it was already doing on the bulk. Now, out of those 15 pounds, how much of that was fat? Well, I did increase body fat. As you would expect, you gain weight, you're going to gain body fat, 2.9%. That's actually not too bad for 15 pounds over those 120 days. 2.9% isn't too bad considering I did start off pretty low in body fat. Increases, right? So what got bigger? Chest, 3 inches bigger. That's pretty noticeable in the photos. My legs definitely got bigger. That's very noticeable in the photos. My thigh was 1.5 inches bigger around, and my calf was a half inch bigger around. So my arms got bigger by a 1/2 inch, and that obviously is noticeable in the double bicep pose from day 0. But let's talk about the real elephant in the room, okay? The one that I was the most nervous about was my waist. I've said it before in countless videos. When I gain weight, almost all of that weight goes to my waist. Most of you dads know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, I gained 4 inches on my waist. Now, that's obviously more than I wanted to gain. I knew I was going to gain some inches. And in fact, the first 60 days, I didn't really gain much on my waist at all, 1.5 inches, not much at all. But the last 60 days, it just seemed to all go to my waist, and I am certainly glad that this bulk is over. Those 4 inches are brutal, and it's something I'm going to have to work to get off, and I think I can eat, not easily, but I can work to get it off. But again, I knew that was coming, and that is the reality of a bulk. When you do a bulk, you're going to be gaining weight, and some of that weight's going to go to places you don't want it to go, in this case, my stomach. So let's talk about the 3 main things that I learned, the 3 lessons learned, the 3 things that I would focus on much more heavily on my next bulk. So number 3, we're going to do these backwards in terms of importance. When I started off this bulk, I try to do everything with whole food. Okay, I did as much as I could with whole food, supplementing with protein powders, once or twice a day, but mainly whole food. And that was easy at 3,500 calories, but at 4,000, 4,500 calories, it was so difficult, so time consuming, not only to prepare the food, but to actually eat the food. It was, just cups and cups of oatmeal and rice and whatnot. So what I would do differently is I would find either a really good mass builder or a really good carbohydrate substitute and use those at least once or twice a day to get the extra calories in. But you need to be wary because not all mass builders or carb substitutes are good. There's a lot of crap out there just filled with, just straight sugar. And you want to get those that are filled with slow digesting carbohydrates. You don't want any sugar. And that is, again, another way to try to keep as much of that fat off as possible. So I would certainly invest not only time to do the research, but the money to get those products and just substitute, get those extra calories in with those shakes, only because the whole food is just going to take you so long to not only cook and to eat. Number 2, and this is an important one, less is more. And when I say less is more, I mean across the whole board. First and foremost, I did a 120-day bulk. That last 30 days seemed like a lifetime. It was just so arduous. I definitely would shorten that bulk either to 90 or 100 days and simply do the 100 days and give myself a good evaluation at the end of the 100 days and see if I wanted to continue, see if I wanted to do a cut, or see if I wanted to just maintain that level at that point. Trying to do these super long bulks, it just gets monotonous. You can become unfocused. And when I say less is more, it's not only about duration, it's also about the weight gain during the bulk. Many people think they need to gain 15, 20 pounds, but you don't realize how much weight that actually is. If you focus on gaining a lesser amount, you will be surprised at how big you're going to look by gaining only, say, 5 pounds. You don't realize how big and filled out you're going to be by just 5 or 6 pounds. I'll tell you, when I look at my photos now at day 120 and I go back to day 60, I almost looked bigger at day 60 because I wasn't fluffy, because I was able to flex that muscle and I still looked tight. I looked big but tight. Now that I'm at day 120 days, I look thicker than a Snickers bar, I look white as a ghost, and I certainly do look fluffy. So I would say, less is more on the weight gain. Shoot for a very small number. Now that also goes with shooting for a smaller number, that goes for your weekly weigh-ins. You don't want to gain as much weight. I set mine at 1/2 pound a week. I might even, say shoot for a 1/4 pound a week, something super small, and that will allow you to, again, keep as much of that fat off as possible. And then when you do hit that 1/4 pound a week, that small amount of weight that you've targeted a week, I wouldn't just jump up the calories. Now, for me, I set the calorie marker at plus 250 calories when I did not hit my weight gain goal. And that was too much. I probably would have set that at like 100 or 150 calories. You want to do as small of an incremental calorie increase as you're willing to stand, because the less calorie increase you have, the better off you're going to be, just in terms of gaining that fat, that nasty weight, and in terms of trying to put on as much muscle as possible. Oftentimes, especially for you young guys out there, you think, oh, okay, more is better, let's just dump in a ton of extra calories, but your body's not going to respond at the way you think it is. The number one lesson learned, and I do mean by far and large, by a nautical mile, that is consistency. It is so easy to say, and it is so hard to do. With the longer the duration of the bulk, the harder it is to be consistent. And you dads know what it's like. You start a new workout program, you start a new diet, you start a new anything. You're excited, you're motivated, you're driven. All right, you're dotting the I's, you're crossing the T's. And the further out from day 0 you get, the less motivated, the less likely you are to stick exactly to that plan that you set, to stick exactly to that workout program, rep for rep, exercise for exercise, okay? So that consistency is very hard to do for the long term, and that's why it's so hard to stick to any type of diet or bulk. And I would say focus on that consistency, double down on that consistency, and set up routines and motivations to keep you consistent, okay? The difference between people who meet their goals and people who don't, especially with diet and exercise, is just consistency, okay? We all know it's like right now it's February, all right? How many people signed up for a gym membership January 2nd and now they're going to the gym half as often as they were when they first signed up, and in a month from now, they won't be going to the gym at all. So it's easy to say, be consistent, and it is extremely hard to do. So what is my next fitness goal now that I hit my 120-day mark, gained the weight, and gained the 4 inches on my waist? Well, I'm not going to specifically tell you. I'm going to throw up this photo as a hint. If you want to follow my next fitness goal, my next fitness journey, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Okay, now if you've come this far in the video, I want 2 things from you. Okay, I want you to leave a comment and let me know what your fitness goals are and what you're doing to stay consistent on those fitness goals. And I want you to give this video a like. Okay, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. As usual, thanks for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you dads be great parents to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I post tips and tricks to save you dads time, energy, and money. 3 things that are in short supply for every dad out there.